Hello and welcome back to another video with me, FPL Crusader. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are doing the Game Week 22 preview. I run through all the usual stats that we do. I run through the grey list, looking at some captaincy choices, also some differential picks, but I will finish on a whole bunch of stats on Liverpool assets. We are working towards the double, which is next game week. I think I said 22 then. This is game week 23 we're coming up to. But for game week 24, Liverpool has a double. Obviously, with Everton, they've got the double as well. You'd expect Liverpool to do well. But a lot of people in the engaged community, we'll call it, the FPL community, the social media community, moving this week because they've got a plum fixture at home to Ipswich. So why wouldn't you go ahead and go this week? So let's have a look at the injury list first. We know Saliba's injured. He's got a hammy injury. He's still 25% owned. He is the number one transferred out asset this week, but he's still 25% owned. Arsenal have too many injuries. They've got, in terms of defense, they're not too bad injuries. They're away to Wolves this week, so it's not exactly a tough fixture in terms of on the table, but Wolves are still going to score some points, so people are steaming off the double Arsenal defense. I think he will play, to be honest. I think he will play. But I'm not an expert. I'm not in the know, so don't take my advice. Saka as well from Arsenal, still 10% owned. He's out until game week 28, which is the start of March, I believe. Who do you go for? Is it Diaz? Diaz is probably the smartest one now, considering there's a double. For a couple of weeks ago, you probably should have gone Foden, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? We didn't know Foden was going to start banging. And then Gordon has been consistent as well. Big Dom, if you've got Solanke, if you're one of those 8%, he's injured his knees out until game week 25, so 3 weeks. Who do you go with him? Similar price range will be Jackson, Mateta, and Gakpo. Given the double game week, Gakpo is a no-brainer. Pope is still injured. That's why he's there as well. I believe he is back in training, or at least on the training field. Don't quote me on that. Diogo Jota, we're not sure when he's coming back. And West Ham fella. I think he's back on the training pitch. I heard Suj say that earlier in the week. Jared Bowen might be back on the pitch, but we're not sure when he's coming back. So one of the things I need to think about in the assistant managership is Jared Bowen did really well under Moyes. Who's Everton's version of Jared Bowen? I'm not sure if they have one. Can you turn Illiman and Dyer into Jared Bowen and just make him a threat across both wings and down the middle? Who knows? That's something for future thoughts. Everton have a double game week in 24. I probably wouldn't go the Arsemanship then, but if they need some points, they've got a double game week from 35 to 37 potentially. Obviously, the double game weeks aren't confirmed yet, but that's what they're projected to be. And if they need points and they're playing teams above them, and they're in form, and the teams above them are basically on the beach because they're not going to qualify for Europe, or they're not in relegation risk, and that could be the way to go. Let's have a quick look at the fixtures for this week. As I said, the Arsenal one, Aston Villa have a plum one. They got West Ham at home as well. Brentford, Crystal Palace, 50-50 there. Brentford will score, so will Palace. Bournemouth host Nottingham Forest. That's a tough one for both. Bournemouth are in pretty good form. Forest have been in good form, but they did drop 2 goals to Southampton last week. Brighton hosts Everton. That should be a good win for Brighton. Fulham hosts Manchester United. So we just lost Manchester United in round 1 to a late goal. So we'll be looking to avenge that. And who knows what version of United we'll get. Are we going to get the United that beat City, that played really well against Liverpool, or are we going to get the United last week that played against Brighton? We're not entirely sure, but one thing's for sure, we need to play better. Liverpool have Ipswich. That is the plum fixture of the week, as is Newcastle away to Southampton, and Spurs have Leicester as well. That could all be captaincy options, but who knows? Like, who would you go for with Spurs? You can't go Solanke now. He's injured. Maybe you go Sonny. Yeah, I don't really know about that. Let's have a quick look at the shots on target here. So same people every week, almost. Just their shots are increasing. Haaland has the most shots still. Salah's catching up quickly. He's got more goals. He's doing not too bad. His on and off target percentages is reducing, to be fair, but he's getting better. Semenyo still got a lot of shots. for lack of return. Palmer, a lot of shots, 14 goals. He's doing really well. Watkins, Cunha both got 10 goals. Madueke scored again on the weekend, but it's a lot of shots. Again, down the bottom, you notice Kluivert. And a lot of people are going to steam into Kluivert very soon. He's just got 2 hat-tricks in recent memory. He's got 10 goals for the year as well, just off 23 shots. Just off 23 shots on target and 10 goals. That's a pretty good ratio, just under 50%. So take away the penalties. But he's only 5.5, and if you've got a Rodgers or you've got an Ahmad or you've got anyone else at that price range and you're looking to get all changed around for the next few weeks, Kluivert could be the person to go for. He's taken the mantle of Semenyo. Semenyo is supposed to be the next big thing in terms of low value and the talisman for the team in the Premier League, but I think Kluivert is just showing what he's made of, really. The reason why he was brought from Roma to Bournemouth. I think I'll jump on him at some stage. I just hope I'm not chasing points by then. I don't think I'm going to get to him now. He's got Forest and Liverpool, both at home, but they're number 1 and number 2 in the league, or number 3, I think it might be, in the league. So I'm not entirely sure if it's the right time to go yet, but something to think about. Raul Jimenez, still getting a lot of shots, only 8 goals though. In terms of being selfish, he needs to get much better there. All right, let's have a look at my grey list this week for goalies. My 2 locks would be Henderson and Alisson. Alisson for the double. I'll mention this numerous times throughout the recording, but Crystal Palace still have a plum run. That's why Henderson's there. Alisson, as I said, he's got some pretty good fixtures coming up. They've got the one City game in 26. But if you're going to do a transfer or if you're on wildcard, it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. A risk would be Aston Villa Martinez. He's got 3 good fixtures, and then they kind of fall off a cliff a little bit. My concern with Villa is they still haven't got their defense right. He's tried to bring in a lot of Spanish, or a couple of Spanish defenders. It hasn't really worked out. Moreno's gone, and there's another bloke in there as well. So I think Mings and Conte would work well together, but we just don't know. I don't trust their defensive assets pretty much, but their attacking assets, amazing. So here's a bit of a risk. I would avoid completely Edison. Look at City's run: Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham. That's the top 4, and then Tottenham. But Tottenham can hurt them, so they're not going to keep it clean there. Then they've got Forest, Brighton, and then it gets better, Leicester in 30. And they've got a pretty good run towards the end of the year. For me, it would completely be Alisson, Henderson, or Pickford. I just couldn't put 3 in here because I've given myself those rules. When I do a grey list, it's 2 locks, 1 risk, and 1 avoid. Let's have a look at saves. Henderson's got 61 saves throughout the season. Martinez not far behind, 57. He's having to work pretty hard, Martinez. Edison and Alisson are in the 30s, but don't forget they've both been injured. And they've both been picking up injuries every year for the last 2 or 3 years, which is why a lot of people aren't going directly with them. And if we look at the points on the left as well, Sales is still number 1, Pickford 2, Raya is there, and Henderson's gone up to number 4. A good set to forget if you've got them. Congratulations, those that have. Let's have a look at the defenders and my locks this week. Munoz I still think there's something coming from Munoz. He's got 2 cleans in a row, or 2 out of 3 it might have been. He's a little bit like Luca Dean. He trolls you so much. You think he's going so well, but you don't get the points for it. But eventually he's going to get like something stupid like a 15 or 17 pointer. But it just depends on how many 2s you have to put up with before that. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I had to put him in there. He's still quite low owned because of his price, but as I said, Liverpool's fixtures look amazing. Kirkes, not just because he scored goals last week, but because he's very attacking, would be my risk. As I said, Forest and Liverpool, but then he's got Southampton and Wolves in 25-26, which looks good. From 29 onwards, I'll probably go back into Bournemouth, I think. That looks really good there. In 25-26, I might just have to go Kluivert. Not focus on the defense. Ryan Aït-Nouri, he's still doing good things. Wolves are still horrible. They're the worst defense in the league, and they've got tough fixtures. I would avoid him 100%. Clean sheets, Trent's got the most. Munoz and Kirkes not far behind. Goals and assists. It's actually Ryan Aït-Nouri's got more than Trent this year. Anthony Robinson's probably got more than everyone. but he's not on this list, so I'm just mentioning because I'm a Fulham fan. XGI, it's a 8-0. He's got 8 goals with 3 XGI, which is phenomenal. So he's well overperforming it. But his underlyings look good, and on the ball he looks good. XGI for Trent looks amazing as usual, but it hasn't really been converting this year. And Munoz looks good as well. So if it was me, I'd probably go one of them. Considering this is double game week, if you can't get to Trent, Van Dijk or Kanate should get some decent points as well. I would avoid the I'm really bad at directions. Trent's right, so I would avoid the left-hand side defenders because there'll be rotation guaranteed. Midfielders, selfishly, I put McAllister at the top and Salah. The same combination as before, same reasons. Salah is due for a massive haul. A bit like Munoz, they're teasing, and all of a sudden they're just going to bang. You just need to be there to get it. The risk would be Aston Villa's Rodgers. He's got 3 good fixtures, but the risk is you're not getting a double, and I'd avoid Philly Foden now. I think he's done what he needed to do to bring himself back into the limelight, but I haven't. How do I say this without being rude? I know he's so loved by the English public, and that because he's an English startup, he gets protected. But last season was the first season he's been consistent for an extended period of time. We've always seen the flashes of brilliance from him, but it hasn't gone week after week. And we've seen this season he's back to what he has been like prior to last season. Also, I don't think he's done amazingly well in big fixtures, and he's got Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, Forest, and even to an extent, Brighton is a decent fixture because Brighton can hurt them. So I think this run could stifle a bit of his creativity. City won't dominate in the midfield against the majority of his teams, so he won't have as much freedom up top to do what he does. If he does get that freedom, he could very well score, but I don't see it happening. Myself, his XGI is 9. He's got 6 goals, 3 assists. So as much as people have been lauding him, he's got less than 10 goals and assists for the season. Alexis McAllister has got less than that as well, but he loves a double game week. I should have got more stats about this. I'll probably do that leading up to the double because I've brought him into my team. Spoiler alert, he loves a double game week and he's hurt me in the past. XGI is best for Foden and also Salah. So Salah's really, he's really teasing us, to be honest. Rodgers, goals and assists, 5 and 6. What value he's been this year. If you've had him, he's a set and forget. If you need someone at the 5, just put him there. You can easily bench him. I'm benching him this week. It could have been Rodgers. I probably would have benched him as well if I had him. Forwards, Cody Gakpo, Ollie Watkins, fixtures. The risk would be Chris Wood because he's got a couple of tough fixtures coming up. Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, and then we're going to Newcastle, Arsenal, City. It might be the time to exit from him, and if you've got the money, go straight to Gakpo. A lot of people are doing that. I would avoid Cunha as well. He can probably still bang, but you get more bang for your buck with other people. Cunha's back on point. Looks to be game week 28 because he does play in the blank in 29. XGI is much better for Ollie Watkins. We know he's a great assister as well as a goal scorer. He's got 13 XGI, and the rest are all the same. In terms of goals, Chris Wood is up there, 14. Double-figure goals for Cunha and Ollie Watkins as well. Gakpo needs to get more, but let's not forget Gakpo at the start of the season wasn't in the starting lineup. He was off the bench, so his minutes were very small. We're talking 19s, 20s. Definitely less than a half worth of football. Chris Wood is the number 2 scoring attacker. We can see that on the right-hand side. Cunha is number 4. Watkins is just behind him. And Gakpo's a bit further down. As we said, he didn't get all the opportunities at the start of the season, but he's definitely proving his worth now. So those will be my locks, Gakpo and Watkins. If you've got Wood, you can either keep him or just play him. I think I'm playing him this week, away to Bournemouth. If he does well, that's great. If he doesn't, then what do you expect, really? The reason why I'm not too fussed on people going away to Bournemouth is Bournemouth actually have the number 4 best defense in the league. So what's been overlooked here is the fact that they're playing really well. They've got this Clivert bloke who loves scoring headies. They've got half-decent defense. They've got a defender who can attack, but also they've got the 4th least amount of goals conceded. Most wanted this week. So who are you bringing into your team? 410,000 people with 24 hours to go, or even a bit more than that, to go before the deadline. Justin Kluivert. If it was Patrick Kluivert, it would have been cool. Justin Kluivert, he's getting hat-tricks. The Cherries are in great form. People are bringing him in. He's got a couple of tough fixtures coming up, but if he's in form over fixtures, people are really believing that. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he must be in for the double. 290,000 people are jumping in. Is he worth the dollars? You'd think for this 3 or 4 game stretch, he probably would be. I can't quite get there, so he's not coming into my team. But for those who have, and if he bangs, congratulations. Chris Wood, 265k, people brought him in. He can't stop scoring. He does have tough fixtures, but he's just one of these in the form of his life, really. I think he'll continue scoring regardless of what happens on the pitch. Let's have a look at captaincy for this week. Mo Salah, he's the obvious captain. He'll be perma-capped for a lot of people. Ipswich at home in Gameweek 23. What more needs to be said? Number 1 assists, number 1 goals, number 1 XGI, number 1 player in FPL history, and he's the number 1 player in the Prem. If he doesn't get Ballon d'Or nominations this season, then what more does the bloke have to do? Isak is away to Southampton, a plum fixture. It's actually better to play Southampton away from home. Gameweek 23, he's the number 1 forward in the Prem. He's surpassed Haaland in points. He's in huge form, great form. They had a blip last week, but it doesn't really matter. He will get back onto form. And Watkins, is he the number 1 forward at Villa? They got West Ham at home. Is he the number 1 forward at Villa? I think he's reclaimed his spot, and he's playing himself back into form. They all got good fixtures. I put James Maddison there as an honourable mention because they got Leicester at home. But have a look at the goals per 90 here. So Mohamed Salah, 0.87 goals per 90 minutes played. John Duran, we know he is a bench king, and James McAtee got lucky. But if you got Salah, Isak, they're right up there. So it's Justin Kluivert, Chris Wood, and then there's a few other people that are coming directly off the bench. Those who have got Johan Wissa, you've probably benefited really well this week. We know James Maddison can play really well against lower-ranked teams. Leicester at home. It's perfect for him to get a massive haul. He's done it in the past. So it's not beyond the realms of comprehension that he could also be a viable captaincy shout if he gets the minutes. Differentials this week. Okay, so we've got Jacob Murphy away to Southampton, game week 23. He's got 10 goals and assists at 5-point XGI, completely playing above his XGI and expected goal involvement, but he is playing very well. Tottenham Hotspurs, we can see in goals scored there. Newcastle, goals scored there, 38. They're 7th, but they're in a rich vein of form. At the start of the season, they weren't scoring. Matoma, Everton at home, 9 goals and assists at 8.4 XGI. Murphy has outscored Matoma, which you wouldn't have thought at the start of the season. Brighton, I don't really know what to do with Brighton at the moment. They're playing okay. They're playing as a team. There's no individuals that are really standing out. But the other individuals, I just spoke about him before. Leicester at home, Maddison, he's got 13 goals and assists at 9.2 XGI. So he's involved in a third of Tottenham's, or just under a third of Tottenham's goals. They've got 45 for the season. Ranks them second behind Liverpool, who are running first, as we know, in the league. So the differentials for the week, my diamond differentials are Murphy, Matoma, and Maddison. Triple M. Congratulations if you've got any of them. Let's have a quick focus now before I do my team reveal. Quick focus now on Liverpool. They've got a good 4-game fixture swing coming up. They got Ipswich at home in 23. 24, they've got 2 away games. Bournemouth, which will be a tough one. We've just spoken about them. And they've got the Merseyside derby, the last one at Goodison Park. Then they got Wolves at home. So the question is it worth it? Let's run through who they're playing against. Top line here, Ipswich. They're the 4th worst defense in the league. 43 goals conceded, which is 1.9 per 90. At home, they concede more than they do away, which is phenomenal, really. So that is a plum fixture. That's not part of the double, but that's why people are moving this week. Bournemouth, they're the 17th. So they are technically the 4th best team with only 26 goals conceded. Per 90, it's 1.1, so you're going to get 1 goal. And majority of those chances come away from home. 1.58 goals conceded per away game, but 0.7 at home. They've made that into a fortress. They made the home ground into a bit of a fortress, and Liverpool going there in a double game week could be a very dour affair. Everton, they're 12th best, 28 goals, 1.3 per 90. Once again, they're worse away from home. 1.5, but also they're conceding 1 goal at home every game. Without Sean Dyche, expect that to increase slightly. And Wolves, they are the worst defense. 51 goals conceded, 2.3 goals per 90 minutes. It's phenomenal. And it's pretty even too. Doesn't matter where you play them, home or away. 2.3 is 2.3. The reverse fixtures last year, obviously the Everton game didn't go ahead. Game week 1 was 2-0 to Liverpool. It was in Ipswich. Jota got the goal. Diogo Jota got the goal, assisted by Salah, and then Salah got the second goal. Bournemouth at game week 5 was 3-0 to Liverpool. Luis Diaz went on that run and got the 2 goals. Salah got an assist. And Wolves in game week 6, away to Wolves, it was 2-1. Jota got 2 assists and Salah got the goal. So there was no real dominance. They're the first 6 games of the season. We know the fixtures are reversed for a reason. That's what happens. We can't really tell anything by the second lot of data, but the top lot of data, for me, Bournemouth conceding the majority of their chances and goals away. If you're playing them at home, then I wouldn't expect a huge return, which could impact triple captainers away to Bournemouth and away to Everton. It's a tougher double game week than it looks to be. Let's have a look at the stats for 6 of the best players to bring in from Liverpool. Let's have a look at on the reverse fixtures, and then we'll go in the last 6 game weeks. I've chosen Luis Diaz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister for your midfielders, Trent and Virgil van Dijk for your defense, and obviously Gakpo as the number 1 attacker. I didn't put Darwin in because he's Darwin, and I didn't want to. But as you can see, if you run your eyes down the goals and assists across these 3 fixtures last season, no one's got more than 1 return. Trent got 1 assist. Diaz got a goal, and Szoboszlai got a goal as well. So none of these 6 really outperformed in the first 6 game weeks. It was almost Salah. It really was. So the XGI average across those 3 game weeks was 0.56. That was the best, and that was from Diaz. Szoboszlai got 0.4. Trent got 0.46, and Alexis just the 0.2. Gakpo's fixtures here, he was on the bench, so his stats are basically non-existent, to be honest. And that's nothing against the talent of the man. He just wasn't playing, wasn't chosen. We look at the ICT index, which is influence, creativity, and threat. It judges how much impact they're having on the game. Luis Diaz and Trent were all over it. Diaz wasn't really getting the returns then, but against those 3, he was playing pretty well. Salah got a lot of the returns, and so did Diogo Jota. I haven't put Jota in here. Obviously, he's injured. Against Bournemouth, Diaz would have thought he would have got a return with 15 ICT, which is very high, as you can see. McAllister was starting to play better, but the average for the influence, creativity, and threat was Diaz, that 8.87. That was amazing. Trent and Alexis McAllister got much better against Bournemouth. So just some stats there for you to peruse. You can pause on here and have a look at it yourself. Take what you want from it. But the next slide for the last 6 game weeks, up until game week 22, this is more important. So if we look at the top, the goals and assists scored. So Luis Diaz has got 3 in the last 6 game weeks. Don't forget he's only played 5 games. Szoboszlai has only played 4. The rest of them were playing every game. Now I've coloured it in. The green and yellow is first, and then the blue is who's got the second best. XG throughout the last 6 game weeks. Oh, sorry, let's talk about goals. So goals, Diaz got 5 and Diaz got 3 and Gakpo's got 3. Assists, Alexis McAllister over the last 6 has 4. Szoboszlai has 3. So both of them almost getting, Szoboszlai's got a return per game, and McAllister's just below a return a game. In terms of XG, Szoboszlai's got the best out of anyone, 0.63. In terms of XA, it's Trent and Alexis, 0.3 and 0.37 respectively. The XGI, Szoboszlai is number 1 there as well. So this might have impact on your transfers this week. McAllister's just below him, but that XG for Szoboszlai for 0.63, that was weighted on his goal. The influence, creativity, and threat, I've broken them down into 3 separate ones. Just look, Trent's dominating. In terms of the threat, influence, and creativity, it's all Trent. Alexis McAllister is not too bad there, 28 and 30 respectively. But in terms of the threat, it's the goal scorers. It's Diaz and Szoboszlai. Gakpo's getting better, but it depends on what you want. So for me, the reason why I went McAllister is his XA, XGI, influence, and creativity. I think he's going to score maybe 1 or 2 goals. He loves scoring an outside the box curler shot, but also in a double game week, he really fronts up and plays very well in both games. Also, his influence over the last 3 or 4 games specifically has increased, and so has his creativity. But yeah, have a look at this. Have a look at their stats if you want, and that can help you make your own decision of who you bring in to the to your game for the double game week, I should say, to your team for the double game week. This is how my team stacks up for game week 23. I've got Triple Toon. Savio has gone out. I've got a couple of good returns from Savio. I brought in Alexis McAllister. He gets a starting spot straight away. I've benched Ahmad away to Fulham. I think we can do a job on Ahmad. I think we can stop him. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we do pretty well. The last time, as I said, we had a late goal that we lost. Time before that was that Garnacho super kick. So I think we'll be all right. I think Ahmad. That's what I'm nervous about. It's either Ahmad and McAllister, but McAllister at home to Ipswich. If you bring him into your team and you're not playing at home to Ipswich, when are you playing him? Like, does he deserve to be in your team if you're not going to play him for? Sorry, the camera cut out there. So does McAllister deserve to be in your team if he's not going to be in for the Ipswich at home fixture? I'll run through my team now. Pickford away to Brighton. We've got Munoz at home to Brentford. Kanate at home to Ipswich. Hall away to Southampton. Gordon away to Southampton. Mo Salah as my captain at home to Ipswich. Alexis McAllister comes into the team. He's at home to Ipswich. Palmer's away to City. He's playing his old team. Will he front up against them? He's more of a flat track bully, but we'll see how we go. Mateta at home to Brentford. Wood away to Bournemouth. And Isak away to Southampton. Ahmad's on the bench. Murillo's on the bench. I don't think playing a 4.4 defender away to Bournemouth, who don't concede much and score a lot of goals, is smart. And Masraoui, he'll be third on the bench for a while, I'd say. Fabianski, I wasn't going to play him away to Villa, so it's definitely Pickford. So that's how the team goes. My rank dropped 200k last week, so I'm at 1.9 mil. Well, it's 1.99 actually, so we'll call it 2 mil. So hopefully this will give me another boost in terms of my rank dropping. And then hopefully we can head towards under 500k. Then we'll do incremental targets from then on. But yeah, Alexis McAllister is my transfer in this week. So that's it. That's all the stats I could come up with. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying the content. I really thank you all for tuning in. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you want, if you think it's good content. I hope all your arrows are green and your differential score hat tricks. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Luke, FPL Crusader. Thanks very much.